Hey, what's up guys? If you've been struggling with the Hive Tyrant on the harder difficulties like Absolute or Hard Stratagems, this is going to be the perfect guide for you. I'm going to run through the Hive Tyrant boss fight on true solo, absolute difficulty, mono with the Hive Tyrant so I can show you guys exactly how to take him down step by step. Okay, to start off the fight, he always jumps at you like this. So I'll show you the correct timing to dodge that, which is going to be right here. So that's when you hit the dodge button to get that perfect dodge. And then normally you don't need to worry about his follow-up spin attack if you dodge the first attack properly, so don't worry about that too much. And then a lot of the time if you're standing mid-distance from him, he'll go into the red whip attack. So he has the forehand version and the backhand version, so we'll go over the dodge for both of those now. Okay, so the dodge timing is going to be just as the red circle reaches its biggest point or as the whip is all the way pulled back and about to whip out. And then for the backhand whip, it's actually a 3-part combo, so it's dodge, parry, parry. So we'll go break that down real quick. Okay, first for the whip attack, you're going to dodge there. And then for the quick slash, I actually messed the timing up on it, but I'll show you where the correct timing would be on this. This is a really quick attack, so you need to be quickly ready to parry after the whip. So it's basically just as he's raising it. And then for the third attack, it's going to be just as he's brought his sword all the way back and it's starting to come forward. So watch when I hit C right there. Okay, so he's going to do another forehand whip right after this, and then a new attack, which is the regular sword swipe. That's one of his most common ones, so I'll show you guys the parry timing on that one. So it's going to be right there. And that attack's a great one to punish with the gun strike. It's safe, so anytime you parry that attack, just get some gun strike damage. And quick note, I did use that med kit there, but I started the fight at 20% HP and it brought me to about 70%, so I still count it as a no heals boss fight because I never healed again after this. And then for this overhead spike slam attack, the dodge timing is going to be just as it gets to the very top right here. And you'll get that perfect dodge, and then you can punish with the gun strike and just back up a little bit when he pulls it out because the AoE can damage you. Okay, and then he's going to go into another new attack, which is the backhand sword swipe, so I'll show you how to do that one. And he actually faked me out here because when he drags it along the ground, that's not the real attack and it doesn't start until the blue circle appears, so I had to do a quick recovery parry. If you didn't know, if you whiff a parry, if you double click the attack button and then quickly hit parry again, you can actually parry faster than just like mashing C. It like kind of like resets the animation. Okay, so then ignoring the whiff, the real timing would be right there. And then just follow up with the gun strike and make sure you get that punish damage. And then he'll sometimes go back into the overhead spike slam, which we already went over that. And then usually if I'm standing behind him, I like to back up just a little bit because this blue circle swipe can come out pretty quickly compared to some of his other attacks. So I like to just stand a little far back away from it. And then this is the last attack we haven't gone over in the first phase. So it's his standard forehand blue circle attack. So parry right there. So in the first phase, he'll just keep alternating between the regular forehand, the blue circle forehand, the overhead red spike, which we just saw right there, and then the forehand and backhand whips. If you dodge the forehand whip, it's just a single. The backhand whip can be a 3-part combo, as we saw earlier. So once you learn each of those attacks, he's pretty easy to deal with in the first phase. When he spawns in the ads, the most important thing is just to take them out as quickly as possible. So as you saw there, I saved my Melta bomb for the ad stage and I just blew them up as quickly as possible, because if you're fighting the tyrant and the ads at the same time, you can sometimes get frame trapped in situations where it's not physically possible to avoid damage. So just clear the ads as quickly as possible with the Melta or some crack grenades or whatever high damage abilities that you have, and then you'll just go back to doing the rest of the first phase like normal. So there we go. Forehand blue circle, backhand blue circle, overhead spike attack, Back up a little bit. Don't get hit by the AoE as he pulls it out. Forehand whip. Regular swipe. Backhand, blue circle. Overhead, red circle. Back away to avoid the AoE. And then I like to refill my ammo as I'm getting close to the end of the first stage. Sometimes I wait until he's about to start doing the psi bubbles. Forehand red whip, regular swipe, overhead red circle. So yeah, once you get used to his moves from the first phase, it's really not too bad. Backhand blue circle, and he really doesn't do that backhand red whip attack too often, which is the 3-part one. So it's really not too bad. You just got to get used to it a little bit. All right, so we're about to start the second phase. Notice I grabbed that second Melta bomb that was sitting there. I'm going to need it later. And so with these psi wave bubbles, I'll show you how to correctly dodge these. All right, so the correct timing is going to be right here. And then again, it's going to be right here. And then for the last one, it'll be right now. So essentially it's when the bubble is about like 3 feet in front of you in game. And then his blue circle, if you're behind him, is still the same, but his blue circle forehand attack is now a 2-part attack in the second phase. So let's go over that. You can either dodge or parry, but I did dodge and then parry. So that's how you deal with the 2-hit, and then you can still punish at the end. And then the overhead red circle is still the same. And then I'm going to get off a little melee damage. And the blue circle, if you're behind him, still the same. And then he goes back into the 2-hit blue circle. And then his backhand blue circle is still the same. And then I'm going to punish him a little more with the power rake. You can get in some extra damage while he's pulling his spike out sometimes if you want to. Okay, and then the timing in real time is 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. So if you are kind of like a timing person, that's basically how you would do it. And then red circle overhead, still the same. And then standard swipe without a blue or red circle. Backhand swipe, still the same. 2-part blue circle. Overhead red circle. And then we got our second wave of ads coming in. So I like to place my Melta bomb down and then back up a bit to make sure I'm leading them into it. And then a couple of these little Hormigons survived the Melta blast, so now you'll get to see why it's important to take out all the enemies as quickly as possible. So they're kind of throwing off my groove here and got me hit. But luckily I was able to take one out. Overhead red circle. There's still one Hormigont left. He's going to jump at me in a second here. And then here's the 3-part red circle attack. That's his most dangerous attack. So let's break that down because there's a specific way you have to dodge it. So the most consistent way is to dodge around in a circle to your Space Marine's right. So 1, 2, and then 3. And so you just want to go around in a circle to the right. If you go the other way, I found that you can still get hit a lot for some reason. So just remember to go to the right and around him in a circle. All right, and then that was every single attack that the Hive Tyrant has in both phases. But if you guys want to stick around and see the rest of the fight, just to see how I finished him off. So with the green bubbles, for me, I find if I dodge forward at a slight angle, that I don't know why, but it just seems more consistent with getting through the green side bubble with your dodges. So try that if you want. And then he did get me with that blue circle attack there, but no worries. And then red circle overhead. And then I'm going to get off a little bonus damage. Whenever he's trying to pull the spike out of the ground after he does the overhead, that's the perfect time to get a little bonus damage off on him. And then we're just going to dodge again for his 3-part red circle attack. And then I got hit by that overhead because I messed up a little bit, and then one more time with the side bubbles. So see how I press the W and A together to go at a slight angle. And that's it. That's how you take the Hive Tyrant out. If you guys found this video useful, drop a like on it for me. And if you've been enjoying my content, consider subscribing. It really does help me out. And if you guys haven't seen my other boss video guide about the Vortex Beast, it should be popping up right about now. So check that out and leave a comment down in the comments and let me know your favorite Hive Tyrant boss fight tip, because I know people do have some pretty cool tips on that fight. I know there's a couple ways you can interrupt the green side bubble. So let me know down in the comments what you got. Have a good one, guys.